It's time for local stories from across the East. Local food. Local fashion. Local businesses. This is your home for local. This is the East's Daily Download on Eastern North Carolina CW.
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the East Daily Download. My name is Mark. I'll be your tour guide on this adventure across the East, which today is going to focus on a very specific thing that we do here on the show. I want to welcome in my guest, Angie Casada, the anchor of the 10 p.m. news on Eastern North Carolina CW, and the host of Q&A with AQ.
Yes.
I've got a question for you.
What's up?
How much fun do you have doing Q&A with AQ?
I love it because you, the viewers, are always sending in the most insane questions. Recently with the holiday, they sent in all these good Christmas questions, and I
you
love
do hours of research for this, right?
When they ask the really intense questions and I don't know the answer, I definitely do research and ask the appropriate resources and
Google.
all the right people. Exactly, Google is my best friend. But yeah, I definitely have a lot of fun because it's a chance where I don't have to be sitting at the desk and being very stiff and talking about politics and crime, and I could be myself and you guys
fun.
get to know me. Exactly.
Is there any question or any questions that pop out that you've had over time that really stick out to you? Like, well, that was interesting.
Yeah. Recently, my answer was interesting. Recently, you know, someone asked what was something that I always asked for during Christmas.
Yeah.
And it was the Easy Bake Ovens. I was obsessed
okay.
with that. And then someone asked, well, what do you want for Christmas now? And now that I'm an adult,
I still want an Easy Bake Oven.
No, I said a husband.
Oh.
Yep.
I don't know where to go with that.
Yep.
So why don't we just jump into the show? You're going to see a bunch of Q&A with AQ today. There's going to be some other stories as well, but we're primarily focusing on Angie today and her Q&A and the best of. And
it gets crazy.
It's already gotten crazy right here. Let's take a look.
Top of the morning to you. Welcome to Q&A with AQ. I'm so excited to answer your questions this morning. So many people have been sending in these questions about ENC, trying to get to know me, the whole nine. So I'm super excited to answer these. Let's go right away to number one. If you wanted to, could you visit the beach and the mountains of NC all in one day? And how long would it take to get from one to the other? Well, I am so glad you guys asked. Is it something that I would do personally? Probably not. But if you wanted to, I would pick the Outer Banks because I've never been and I really want to go. And then I would pick Asheville because I really want to go to the Biltmore House and I heard there's mountains over there. So according to Google, that would be from the Outer Banks to Asheville, 320 miles. AKA 5 hours and 1 good minute. So if that's what you choose to do, you can't stop and use the restroom or fill up for gas, then yeah, it'll take you 5 hours and 1 minute from the Outer Banks to Asheville. And if you do go, let me know, I'll totally ride along. Question number two, do you have any pet peeves? Well, I pride myself in being a very honest person, to the point where lying always, that just aggravates me a lot. You know, I don't like the gray areas. I like very straightforward. I'm a very straightforward person. So I think lying is one of my pet peeves. And believe it or not, one of my biggest pet peeves is the fake news voice. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yep. You know, the normal people that are just talking, you're like, hey, everything. And when it turns on, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good evening, everybody. You know, I just hate that. I just wish people could just be true to who they are. I usually say that the person on TV when I'm doing the news is just kind of like the professional Angie, articulate every word, you know. But if you know me, I'm very outgoing, and I'm out of whack, and I tend to change my voice all the time.
Learn how to make cool crafts on a budget. Check out my weekly DIY series, Let's Craft, every Monday on WNCT.com.
Hello everyone, welcome to Q&A with AQ, where you, the viewers, get to send in so many different questions, whether it's about the ENC, about me personally, WNCT, or just the most random questions that you have in mind. You send them in via email at download@WNCT.com. We want to keep encouraging you guys to send those questions in because I'm loving it. All right, let's get to the first question. Do you have any superstitions? Well, I grew up in a Dominican family, and every time I would travel out, to the Bahamas or Dominican Republic, if I brought back a shell, just as a souvenir as a kid, I would bring it home, and my dad would always tell me, like, Angie, if you bring a shell home, a woman should never live with a shell because you'll never get married. And I was like, what? Like, I'll never get married because I have a shell in my house, Dad? Are you crazy? But that was like a superstition that I grew up with, and even though I'm not that superstitious and I don't really believe it, I've never had a shell in my house after my dad told me that. So hopefully I get married one day. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Q&A with AQ, where you, the viewers, get to ask me some amazing questions, and you make me do research, you make me look at some confessions, you make me do a lot. So just send in your questions. I love answering them. Again, download at WNCT.com. We'll answer them. Let's get started. First question of the day. What is your favorite dessert? Favorite topic? Oh, I'm gonna have to go with red velvet cheesecake, but it has to have the white chocolate on top. So I guess you could say white chocolate red velvet cheesecake. Cheesecake Factory has it. Amazing, phenomenal. I do love carrot cake too. I think I'm a cake person. I can't do a lot of ice cream because I'm lactose intolerant, even though I did as a kid. So I'm definitely into cakes, exploring. So once I get married one day, like every other 20-something-year-old single girl, my wedding cake is probably gonna be red velvet white chocolate cheesecake. So, okay, anywho, next question. How many pumpkins does it take to make a pumpkin pie? Well, thanks for asking there. I've never made one, so I went to thefoodnetwork.com to see if I could just get instructions. According to thefoodnetwork.com, all you need is one fat 3-pound sweet pumpkin. I didn't know there's a difference between sweet, salty, sour. It's sweet pumpkin, that's what it's called. I don't know how you're gonna know if it's sweet or not beforehand, but you need a 3-pound sweet pumpkin, and it makes one pie, and according to Food Network, that would serve about 8 people. Okay, so once you make it, make sure you guys drop it off here at WNCT so I can taste them. Hey everyone, it's Angie Casado with Q&A with AQ. I almost forgot my name right there, but listen, I'm so excited that you guys are sending in all these questions to our email, download at WNCT.com. Every week I get to answer you, the viewers, all the questions that you may have with ENC or the most random thing. So let's get started. Let's jump right into it. First question is, what is your most unusual talent? Well, me and my older brother and I, we constantly would battle it out with who could move their ears the fastest when I was younger. Always had big ears growing up, so I could actually move my ears without touching them or anything. It's a talent, so maybe we can get video of that to show over this, but it's a talent. Next question. Is a hot dog a sandwich, and why? Now, when I got this question, I had to really think about it, and I'm not gonna lie, I went around the newsroom asking folks, do you guys think a hot dog is a sandwich? And personally, I think it's in its own category. A lot of folks agreed with me, and they said, yeah, Ange, a hot dog is not a sandwich. And I was like, where the heck did they come up with the name a hot dog? Come to find out, it had something to do with like the Germans coming into town, and they had these sausages, and they also brought in like dash hounds with the sausages, so then it was like a joke. Anyways, I think a hot dog is in its own league. It's not a sandwich. Okay, that's my answer. Do you have any pets? Yeah, I do. I have the best cat in the world. He's a Russian blue mixed with Siamese. His name is Romeo. Super friendly, super loving, affectionate, thinks he's a dog. First cat, love of my life. So yeah, I have a cat named Romeo. All right, can you play any instruments? Well, when I was growing up, I played the violin until I got kicked out. It was right before our concert because I kept missing practices for basketball practice. So I had an instructor, he was Russian, and he like yelled at me. He was like, Angie, you can't be picking, basketball. You have to pick one or the other. I don't know what kind of accent that was, just work with me here. But I ended up picking up basketball. So I played the violin, I still can. Played the recorder, was in the Christmas parades growing up, which was amazing. And I could play about 3 songs on the piano, but don't ask me to read music because that's just not my forte. But yeah, those are all the questions for this week, but I want you to keep sending questions. Email us. It's amazing. I love it. You make me do research, and you allow me to reflect on my own self, with the questions that you guys ask. So keep sending them in. We love to hear from you. It's via email on download@WNCT.com.
That's going to wrap up this episode of the Best of the East Daily Download Q&A edition with our good friend, Angie. So let's see here. Since we're wrapping up the year, what do you want to happen? This is a Q for you, and you give me the A. What's your goal career-wise over the next 12 months? What do you want for the new year? What do you want for 2020?
Wow. Okay.
You have like 3 seconds, by the way.
A good credit, a husband.
Not necessarily in that order.
Nope. I want to probably lose weight. That's always a great one, right? Yep. Holla. And then what else, Mark? I want you to send in questions. I want you guys to get real. I want you to ask anything you want, whether it's about me, whether it's about Eastern North Carolina events, or even how you can get involved. Please send in the questions to download@WNCT.com.
There you go, what she said.
Yeah.
So that's going to wrap up this Best of the East Daily Download edition where we focused on Q&A with AQ. As always, thank you, AQ, for being here, and we'll see you. Hello and welcome to a very special Best of edition of the East Daily Download. My name is Mark. I will be your tour guide on this adventure across the East, which today brings us to Studio E. Now, as I said, this is a Best of edition. We're going to focus on a very special thing that we do every week called Let's Craft. And who better to talk to than the person behind Let's Craft? Come on in, Shayla. Shayla Reeves, WNCT 9 on your side anchor and host of Let's Craft.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for finally getting into the studio here. We've been trying to book you for weeks.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and the holidays are the best time to do it, right?
Right. So tell everybody who has maybe seen one episode or two, or maybe hasn't seen it at all, what Let's Craft is all about.
Well, sure. So Let's Craft, I am one of those people who's just naturally creative. When I'm not in front of the camera, you can find me repurposing something old, giving it new life. I love salvaging things, checking out thrift stores, and so many things look amazing when you add just a little touch of paint. And so for the last year, I actually decided to see what will happen if I just craft all the time. Sometimes I craft every once in a while, but I made it a commitment this year.
Yes, you have.
And what lessons I have learned in the process. It's been amazing getting to meet people in the community, and it's so cool to see not only how I create and share my passion, but also getting to go out and meet people in Eastern North Carolina who have, some of them make careers out of crafting and sharing their passions with the community. And others are like me. They have something else that's their day job, but when they're not here, they love cooking, they love making things, and you just learn so many lessons about life by just engaging with people creatively.
Well, speaking of that, is there one, or is there something that sticks out in your mind as being one of your favorites that you've done?
I have a few, but I think some of my favorites involve surprises. And so one of my absolute favorite surprises, well, there's two. I'll be quick. I know, I like stories. One, of course, was surprising my dad for his birthday. I know it's probably not safe to say here, but a Pittsburgh Steelers fan in our house. And so I surprised him with a whole setup when he visited, and it had everything, all kinds of little handcrafted things, little terrible towels made out of paper for the sandwiches. And I did like a full-on display, and then I incorporated in his high school football pictures into the display, and then some cards and different things from his favorite players on the Steelers. And he was totally surprised, but it was very meaningful and memorable for him. So those are the kinds of experiences I like the most, where you can really show people, hey, you can take this old item, give it new life, and in so doing, you can create a different experience for the person receiving it, and just make a moment out of it.
And it clearly brings you joy doing it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's why I've been doing it for so long.
Well, we got a whole bunch of Let's Crafts we're going to look at today. We're going to have a couple other stories, but primarily this is a Let's Craft show, so let's take a look.
I love to paint. Painting is my go-to. One of the projects I'm working on is a wall for my godmother. She's a dance teacher. This is hopefully a gift that won't end up on a re-gift shelf. And hopefully it will inspire and encourage each of the little girls, all the way to teenagers, to keep pursuing their interests and their passions. I decided to grab a variety of canvases, different sizes, paint all of the canvases, and through a few upcycling projects, I managed to create custom artwork for her studio. Old magnets transformed into wall art, a variety of looks.
Cell phone cases for $1.
I updated the cell phone cases by adding little wood cutouts of dancers. And then I also took other wood cutouts and attached them to a variety of surfaces to create a custom look.
If you use your imagination, you can come up with some incredible things.
Oftentimes people will order these for weddings with the names of each of their guests. Well, I decided to order the custom words, and instead of ordering names, I ordered phrases. I was able to attach each of these words to a canvas. My hope is that each girl that sees this, that comes in and utilizes this space, will hopefully feel warmth and love and energy, encouraging not only my godmother, but all the students that she teaches to keep pursuing their passion for dance.
Thank you, Miss Shayla. We love our room.
Thank you for watching this episode of Let's Craft. I'm Shayla Reeves.
Hi, everyone. I hope you are having an amazing day.
Selfie props are a great way to add a little bit of fun to your photos. All you need to do is grab either cardboard, or you can make your selfie props using wood cutouts, wood pieces, whatever you want to do. You can really make these selfie sticks your own. You'll want to paint the wood, or you can add wrapping paper to the cardboard. And once completed, you can take letters, use whatever letters you like. You can use wood letters, you can use chipboard letters, you name it, and attach them using your hot glue gun or super glue to each one of the surfaces. Then add a paint stick or some type of wooden stick to secure to your cutout, and there you go. Once it dries, it's ready for your photo. On this episode of Let's Craft, I'm Shayla Reeves.
It's ingrained in me.
Of course I know what the themes are.
Entertainment Tonight. That's what people want.
It's hard to think of Entertainment Tonight without.
Oh, I know it!
I mean, come on. Since I was a little kid.
This is Entertainment Tonight. This is the Bible of show business.
Signs can be made out of almost anything. You can search the clearance shelf, you can take an old picture frame. They make a great addition, especially if you're doing your wedding gifts and favors. I was able to take some clearance finds and transform them into candy buffet signs. First, you want to take the signs, paint them in your favorite color. Then you want to grab some letters. can have your signs just say treats or have your signs just say favors. Really whatever you need for your event, you can make it your own. The signs I'm making here say, love is sweet, take a treat, paint the letters, and once the letters are painted, you can add some additional accents to make the sign unique, something special. Beaded chiffon flowers are always a fun accent. I love to add photo corners. It's just a little extra touch. Last but not least, add them to your table, and you're ready to go. On this episode of Let's Craft, I'm Shayla Reeves.
Well, that's going to wrap up this special Let's Craft edition, the best of the East Daily Download. Shayla, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you being in studio. So tell everybody how they can find any of the Let's Crafts they want to watch whenever they want to watch.
Well, the best thing is it's a weekly series, so you can find new episodes every Monday on WNCT.com. Hopefully you'll take a moment to check it out, and maybe folks will find a few ideas along the way too. Maybe you'll dig around in your closet a little bit and say, hey, I could repurpose that.
Are you giving them homework assignment?
I'm not giving you a homework assignment.
And then email you in case they find something that could be useful to help. She's available for consultation.
But if you do decide to try it, definitely send me a picture if you try anything, because I would love to see your projects as well.
And we'll see you back here on the East Daily Download. Thanks a lot, everybody.